Have you noticed all the solar panels that are going on the houses? It seems like one's sprouting up everywhere you go. But what happens when you get ready to buy a home with solar or sell a home with solar? What are the things that you should know? After today's conversation, you'll know the answer to the question, what you should know about buying or selling a home with solar panels. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. Okay, team, let's take a closer look at this. The first thing that we're going to go over is buying a home with solar panels, and the second thing we'll go over is selling a home with solar panels. After all, you might not be thinking about selling now if you're buying a home right now, but it will come to play at some point when you get ready to sell a home. If you currently own a home and thinking about selling, you'll want to pay specific attention to the questions that we're going to outline for both the buyer and the seller so that you're more well prepared before you go on the market. All right, so let's talk about buying a home with a solar panel. I mean, it seems like that'd be a really great idea. I mean, let's face it, you're going to be reaping the rewards of somebody else installing the solar panels on it. You won't have to go through any of the frustration that if you're looking at buying it, or even if you're looking at leasing it, with the process of having them installed, yada, 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 right? Well, here's the deal. There's some other things that you should know along with those rewards that can make it really good or could make it a little bit of a challenge. It really depends on if those solar panels are owned outright or if they're leased. If they're owned outright, it does add value to the property, and it's something that you're going to be able to own when you purchase that property. Now, of course, you also want to make sure that you have service agreements in place for those panels at that time. The first question you want to know is, are the panels owned or leased? As we mentioned a moment ago, if they're owned, it's going to add material value to the property, and you'll need to make arrangements for services. You'll need to know how the seller's been maintaining the panels and who has a service contract on them. If they're leased, you would like to see a copy of the lease agreement before moving forward with that property. It's pretty simple to do by working with your trusted real estate advisor to write into the additional terms of your purchase offer asking for a copy of the lease agreement so that you know what you're getting yourself into. Knowing this up front can save you a lot of time, energy, and hassle down the road. You'll also want to know what's the length of the contract. A lot of solar contracts average between 10 years and 20 years. You'll want to know what the monthly fees are, if there's any service agreements, and how much it's going to cost you to lease those solar panels. The second question you want to get answered is who manufactured the solar panels. It's really important to dedicate a little bit of time into who manufactured the array and understand any kind of workmanship warranties they have, manufacturer warranties that they have, and know how this is going to impact you when you buy this home. It's also important to note right here that there's something called a Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. In short, what is a Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act? What it does is it protects U.S. consumers from false or misleading warranty claims or warranting terms from the solar company. Investigate it a little bit, it'll go a long ways to giving you some peace of mind. The third question is, which company installed the solar panels? It's important to know this because it goes back to that workmanship thing. We want to see if there's a 10-year warranty, as a lot of companies will have when they install solar panels, and what are the terms of that manufacturer warranty, if they offer a workmanship warranty, and whom do you contact if you need service? The fourth question is, what's the size of the solar system array? Obviously, this one's kind of a no-brainer. The bigger it is, the more it's going to produce, which means what for you? A lower utility bill, which would be sweet. So you need to know how much you could realistically expect your system to generate and how much it will realistically reduce your monthly utility bill. Knowing this up front, again, will be helpful in planning out your monthly budget moving forward into home ownership. The fifth question you want to ask is, does the local utility company offer what's called net metering? Now, net metering is something that is really cool, because what it'll give you the ability to do is to play energy company with the energy company. What that means is that you can sell back the energy produced from your solar panels directly to the grid of the energy company and get paid for it. So not only would you be reducing your lower monthly bills by the amount of panels that you have, but you can also profit from them potentially if your utility company has what's called net metering by selling your excess electricity to them. Knowing that up front, again, is going to help you with that monthly budget. And we said monthly budget a couple times because it's really important to dial it in as a homeowner. All right, so now that you know a little bit more about buying a home with solar panels and some questions that you should ask, let's take a closer look at what you should know about selling a home with solar panels and the things that you want to get answered up front. Now, this is where it can get a little bit exciting and a little bit fun and sometimes a little bit confusing, so let's help make sense of the confusion. It really depends whether you bought it outright or whether you leased it. If you bought it outright, then whenever you sell the property, then the solar panels will automatically convey survey to the new buyer of that property, and they'll also own them outright. You'll want to pass along any information about who's been servicing your panels, and also be prepared to give them 12 months of your utility statement so they know how much electricity is being produced from the owned solar panels. It's pretty easy to transfer it if it's owned outright. More commonly though, people will lease the solar array and they need to be prepared for the transfer steps, review the contract, and have all of that information ready to go before you put your house on the market. It'll go a long ways to better preparing your home for sale and also helping a buyer to commit to the purchase of the property. It's important to note here that a lot of people will wonder, does having solar really increase my value? If you own the panels, the answer to that question is yes. And it depends on how many solar panels you have and the age of your system for how much it is going to get appraised for. Now, a pro tip here is if you're wondering about it before you go on the market, why not hire an independent appraiser to come out and not only appraise your home, but also your solar system to see how everything combined is going to work out for you. It's going to go a long ways to helping you understand a realistic sales price for your home. It'll also go a long ways to helping your trusted real estate advisor acting as your listing agent to understand the valuation of the property and how best to upsell the features and benefits of your solar system. Okay, so that's if you own it, but what happens if you lease the system? If you lease the system, does it add value to your home? No. Sorry, it doesn't. With that out of the way, let's go into the 3 questions that you should be asking when you get ready to sell your home with solar panels. The first question is, are your solar panels owned or leased? We spent a little bit of time on talking about this already because it's extremely important to know because the process changes depending on what it is. If you own the solar panels outright, what you want to do is you want to have all the information ready to go. Your service agreements, you want to have the manufacturer information ready to go for those solar panels to give to the incoming buyer. If it's leased, you want to go ahead and contact the solar company, get a copy of your contract if you don't already have one, review the terms of your contract, and also understand what the steps are in transferring the leased solar panels to the incoming buyer. Having that information ready to go up front can help a buyer determine if they're interested in committing to the purchase of your property or not. Having it ready to go will increase the transparency and the buyer's comfort level because let's face it, fear is really just an acronym for false evidence appearing real. The best way to replace fear is how? With knowledge. What is that solar contract going to do for the buyer? It's going to give them knowledge to replace any fear or doubt that they have about buying a home with leased solar. Have it ready to go because in practice, having that stuff ready to go whenever I worked with sellers to list and sell their home, it made the world of difference because we had it done before we ever went on the market. The moment that a buyer agent said, hey Andrew, guess what? My buyer would like to make an offer on this property, but the only sticking point is what? The solar panels on their roof. They would like to know more about that. What information can you share with me? I could sit back and tell them, hey, it just depends. What do you want? I got it all. We can get you a copy of the solar contract. We can also give you information to the solar company that you can contact the customer service representative directly to answer any questions that you or your buyer might have. And most importantly, we can also share with you 12 months history of the utility bills and show the before and after differences. Having this stuff ready to go puts yourself in a great position. Let's set you up for success by getting your ducks in a row and ready to go. The second question is, what are the terms of your warranty? It's important to know whether the warranty will extend to the incoming buyer of that property. It's something that you need to know so that it helps market your house and helps give peace of mind and comfort to the incoming buyer that the warranty will still be good whenever they purchase that property. You'll also want to see if there's any additional steps for the transfer of that from the solar company to that incoming buyer. Knowing this up front is really going to help you out. The third question is, how can the panels be removed? And you might be saying, Andrew, why the heck would I want to remove the panels if I have them on the roof and I'm trying to sell the house with solar panels? It's a great point. Consider the equally great point that some buyers just aren't going to want them. And if you want to sell your home, depending on the demand for your home with those solar panels, you might need to entertain how much it's going to cost to have them removed or have them relocated. The person that you want to contact here is the solar company, and also review your contract for the details of how that works and what the process is moving forward. If there's any damage to the roof, who's going to repair it, who's going to fix it. You need to know these things as you get ready to put your home on the market, ideally before going on the market, so that you're all the more prepared when it comes time to list and sell your home so you can get on to your new dream home. At the end of the day, whether you're buying a home with solar panels or you're selling a home with solar panels, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get more information and do your due diligence here. After all, if you're selling it, you want to make sure that the new buyer understands the terms of it, who's servicing it, and who's going to be able to help them should they have any questions. If you're buying that home with the solar panels, then obviously you want to know the same thing. Now that you know the right questions that you should be asking when you're buying or selling a home with solar panels, let's take a closer look at the other ways you can boost your home's energy efficiency and also boost your home's value. Looking forward to chatting with you again soon. See you in a few.